Today it is time for my dreams as a Liverpool fan to come true. Manchester City, your time is up. 115 charges. Everton have been deducted points. Other teams have had to deal with crazy situations, but it seems like Manchester City keep getting away with it.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Everyone pointing their fingers at the people in charge saying, what about the 115 charges? Well, today we will make something happen. Those 115 charges that are up against Manchester City, each and every single one of them will cost them 10 million.
Oh, say less.
Yes, we will take away 1.15 billion from Manchester City to leave them in the Premier League, for them to have the right to play in the Premier League and then rebuild from that position onwards. City, Guardiola is gone, 115 charges on top of your head. And now let's see if you can be rebuilt. Look, I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what's going to happen to Manchester City. I don't think anyone is actually aware of the situation. City have an immense backing in terms of financials, and they are capable of putting out lawyers and making sure this thing gets dragged out as far as possible. So who knows when these 115 charges will ever impact this club. But for this video, we will let it have an impact. This team, as you guys know, has been incredible. The way they have been able to bounce back and get that first position again in the Premier League, despite not looking too good at times, being behind Arsenal and Liverpool throughout multiple weeks and still managing to pull it off, is still incredible despite the charges. You have to respect what the players have done. But on a club level, I'm all for punishment if things have gone wrong. So let's jump right into the financials. We have to pay back 1.15 billion, and we will have to make that happen within only 3 years. Yes, only 3 years to make all of this happen. So we have to be strategically smart about how we will go ahead and sell players and do all that stuff to make sure we pay it off. And most importantly, we will start using the budget that we are giving. 246 million pounds are currently in our budget. I will probably pay off the first 200 million by taking away that from the transfer budget and allocating that towards the charges, paying for a total of 20. And just like that, bang, bang, it's down to 46 million. Now we have to figure out which players are actually okay to sell, which ones we could potentially get even more out of if we leave them at the club for now. Oh man, I think Rodri has been one of the best players this season. Letting him go, whew, that would be tough, but he is 27 and it would technically make sense. But selling all these players right now probably wouldn't make too much sense if we do have players like KDB around here that we could sell who are 32 or 30 and above. We have to make the most out of most of these players that are currently in here and are approaching the 30s or have surpassed this, in order to strategically position ourselves in a spot where we can bring in youngsters that are going to be cheap and making up for those losses at some point. Normally when I'm on this screen and I get transfer offers, I just go in there and I accept things. But in this one specifically, I will have to negotiate every single time to squeeze out every single penny. But I want to know from you guys in the comments down below, do you actually think those 115 charges will damage City in any way? I mean, I've just seen rumors about potentially the UK government getting involved.
What?
And not wanting this whole thing to blow up and not wanting to ruin their relationships with the country of City's owners. It's a madness. Having paid off a couple of charges already, now I've made some mad transfers happen, lads. Take a look at this. United has picked up KDB for 125 million. Hey, at this point, I don't care. I need the money. Go to United, buddy. And he actually started declining in his rating. As soon as I accepted, he went from a 92 to a 91. Ah, gotcha there, Manchester United. Then we have Bernardo Silva selling for 99.6, Ederson for 80, Grealish for 80, Cancelo back from his loan, recalled to be able to sell him to Liverpool for 75, John Stones 64 million, Kovacic 40, Nathan Ake 32, Kyle Walker 24, not Nathan Phillips, Calvin Phillips sold for 11.5 and a bunch of youngsters sent out on loan so we can profit from selling them later on or use them. Now, with these guys being sold, our budget has been going up to 677 million, an insane amount to be able to re-spend, but I will take away 600 million from that, taking it down from 95 charges left down to 35 charges left. And with that, this is the team that we have at the moment. And this will probably be the squad that we're going to start off with. It's going to be interesting to see where this team ends up because it still has some world-class players in it, but definitely a downgrade. But let's keep in mind that we have to keep this club alive. We cannot put together a team that at the end might not even be in the top 10. I know we have some world-class players with Haaland and Rodri, but I am now going for a transfer in that left-back position. Guardiola in real life can play that left-back spot, but in the game, he gets a -2. And that is not what we're looking forward to having in the team. So David Raum, who has been very, very good at first for the likes of Hoffenheim and then for the likes of Leipzig. He is a man that is going to be going to the World Championship with Germany, I assume. Really good pace on him. He loves to cross the ball, dead ball, whip pass, rapid, very offensive player. I will have to admit that defensively not as good, but hopefully Guardiola and Diaz can hold it down while this guy bombs forward. And Enrico Lewis will have to learn how to defend as well, because like that defending stat along with the physicality, that's not going to work around here, pal. You got to work on it.
Work on it.
We have taken down the numbers from 115 charges to 35 by now, but the season is over. And the big question is, do we have any type of European football? Yes, we do. 4th position in the league halfway through the year. This team was only in the 8th position, so getting into this spot is actually quite impressive. Manchester City with 76 points as Spurs pick up a trophy. Yeah, world's upside down. Lads, let's take a look at things a little bit closer. We have Haaland still up top. We have Rodri on a 92 now. It is getting ridiculous. Phil Foden on a 90. Doku 82 rated. Lewis up to an 80. He is getting to the level of others in this team. David Raum up to an 81. Nunes 83 rated. Ortega, even the backup goalkeeper, has gone up. But you see what's going on here on the bench. It is horrific. Like, we have nothing in here that looks remotely interesting or good enough apart from those two players like Gomez and Akanji. So who has been the main man helping us out here? It has been Haaland. Wow, this man has put the team on his shoulders. 48 goals and 7 assists in 59 games. That is ridiculous. And the same goes for Rodri, by the way. 17 and 16 from the center midfield position. I did change Julian Alvarez's position to Cam. He has now 15 goals and 3 assists. Phil Foden got involved. Doku not that much. And David Raum, told you, high attacking work rate. The guy is incredible. And he should have gone up a little bit more, but that's fine after this season's performances. Hopefully next season he will have a bigger impact on the team in terms of growth. But Champions League football secured despite all those losses that we have gone through. It just showcases how much incredible squad depth this Manchester City team has. But in order to make up for the rest, at least 1 or 2 more big players have to go in the next transfer window. You know what I realized in the first season? I think I made a mistake. Initially, we had like 200 something million, right? And we took away 200 million to get rid of 20 cases, but that was from the budget that was just given to us. Again, this season, I'm starting off with 139. I feel like that's cheating. So I have added the 200 million on top of what we already have now with the 35. So we are back up to 55 cases that we have to pay off. So we won't be using the money from the budget there, but we will have to use money from the transfers only. I think that's the only fair way to do it. So let's make it a bit more challenging once more.
Don't hurt yourself, big boy.
It had to be done. I'm sorry. Rodri, I think you're amazing, but 190 million I couldn't say no to. Spurs, the title holders, are going to get an insane midfielder. And the thing I'm doing here is I'm actually strengthening everyone around in the Premier League at the moment. So it's going to be tough to compete against these lads moving forward. Ruben Diaz is going over to Bayer Leverkusen, who somehow lost the Europa League final. How did that happen then? 50-something games unbeaten, and then you lose against Atalanta. Although I have to say, Atalanta did beat Liverpool. They did make us look like amateurs, and they have basically done the same to Leverkusen. Very impressed with that, I must admit. But let's move down the list. Jan Couto has come back from loan and he was sold for 60 million. And Akanji has now left 40 million as well, putting us in a situation where all these transfers amount up to 390 million, which means from the 55 cases, we're able to take away 39. And with that, we now have 16 cases left, 160 million to pay off in season 3. Or I somehow still sell Haaland in the January transfer window because the summer transfer window is done. On transfer deadline day, though, I am making a move for a centre-back. We have let go of plenty. Fikayo Tomori, you are getting your chance to showcase yourself to Southgate, who has been ignoring you for long enough. Now, I understand this season his performances haven't been outstanding. He has had injuries to deal with as well. But Tomori is going to join us here at Manchester City. With the remaining budget that I had, I was able to bring him in, and he's going to help us alongside Gvardiol to make sure our back line doesn't suffer too much. 19 million spent on this one. I can't believe we are able to make so many changes. And I'm just realizing I still have this position to fix, but I don't have the money. So Perone, good luck. 74 rated. Hope it works out. Actually, no, we do have Doyle. He can take over that position. Just a +2, but that's how things are going to go. I need to sell Haaland, though, to make up for the rest of the money. Let me tell you this much. Arsenal against Manchester City. As long as Liverpool has lost Klopp, it's going to be interesting to see the battle between the two. I don't think Liverpool is going to be up there. I hope they will be. Hopefully we make some amazing transfers. Michael Edwards, who has returned to the club, is very good at that. So maybe his impact alone will be good. But here we are. Arsenal against Manchester City in the cup final, the FA Cup, and I am hoping we can win this. Our team is looking ever so solid. Phil Foden on a 91 at this stage. Haaland 95. Tried to sell him and I couldn't. Next summer transfer window is the one where we have to get it done. And then we have Doku 84, Alvarez 88, Nunes has gone up to an 85. Gvardiol looks incredible alongside Tomori. That is such a good partnership, but the goalkeeping position is probably the one holding us back. And will it hold us back here? It won't. 3-2. Phil Foden, Doyle off the bench, and Doku as well. They scored with Saka and Pedro Gonçalves, but it is not enough to stop Manchester City. The question is, have we been able to get the double? Like, that would be an insane return to the top of, oh, no, English football again, I was about to say, but we are only coming in second, which means still, after 2 seasons, we're not able to recapture the Premier League trophy. And that just shows, after letting go of so many players, it is tough to rebuild. And genuinely speaking, I wonder what's going to happen with City, man, when those 115 charges go through. At least some of them have to stick, right? Some of them they will have to pay for or do something for, get points deductions, lose titles. It's going to be a madness. But Haaland, 26-4, not as great this season, only +1 growth. But, I mean, he's 95 rated. Then we have Phil Foden, 21-13, better season than Haaland off that left wing. Doku did better this time around. Alvarez with 12-10. Delap off the bench with 11 goals and 1 assist in 26 games. Buddy, those are some amazing numbers. Well done. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this, but still, we need to do a lot more work to get to the top of Premier League football and also, of course, European football. The final transfer has gone through. We needed 160 million. Well, we got 241. With that, I will take away 160 million from our current transfer budget. And then this whole thing with the 115 charges is done. And we can make a decision on transfers to get City back to the top of the league. A Norwegian man leaves the club, but the Nordic countries do not leave Manchester City. It is Swedish Alexander Isak joining us right now. In my opinion, one of the most exciting players in the Premier League. I even thought before that he had moments where he just looked so freaking good. So him coming into that Newcastle squad and performing the way he has, I think he is one of those players that a lot of Premier League clubs would love to have in their team. I think Arsenal should be looking at someone like him. I think he would be perfect for that team. A lot of people have compared him to the likes of Thierry Henry with his style of play. So let's bring him in. 87 rated, 89 pace, 87 shooting. 88 dribbling on this lad, 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak, but a bunch of play styles. He is the one to replace Haaland. Yes, it is a massive downgrade technically speaking, but he's still one of the best in the world in terms of his rating. I believe in La Liga this season, there was no goalkeeper that prevented more goals than Mamardashvili. The Georgian goalkeeper is now the man to walk into the club as the last transfer of this season. 51.5 million spent on this one. He walks in at an 85 rating with bar throw and cross claimer on him. Just 24 years old, 6'6". This guy could have an incredible career moving forward. So we're going to give him the opportunity here at Manchester City. It is looking like a completely different team, I must admit, in many positions. And the centre midfield spot is what I need to fix next. But the time for that will come. Here we are again, this time against Isak, his former side, Newcastle. They have Mukoko, who has replaced him, Bernardo Silva from our team, Jan Couto as well. Basically, Man City B. At this stage, I am hoping, though, that we can smash them here. Our team looks very good, but we do have issues in that midfield. Doyle is too low rated for sure. That will need to be fixed, but here it goes. 2-1 victory. FA Cup has been won. Phil Foden and Doku stepping up as we cannot stop the shot of Almiron in the 10th minute. Interesting to see. Mamardashvili, hopefully you were a great addition into this team because we are looking to get back to the top of Premier League football. Have we been able to pull off the double? Yes, we have. 76 points on Manchester City. That is good enough. Only 2 points. That is the gap to Manchester United. The city of Manchester now turns blue once more. Liverpool in that third position. Newcastle fourth and in the FA Cup final. A great season for them. But as you guys could see initially, we have made improvements to the squad after dropping down drastically after selling Haaland. Isak came in now and yeah, he has 5-star. I can't wait to see how he plays. Phil Foden is still here. He is one of the only ones that has survived alongside the likes of Guardiola and Rico Lewis and also, of course, Doku. And then the midfielders, I gotta be honest, I didn't expect Nunes to go up to an 86. I'm very surprised about that. But you know what? At one point, he was supposed to be an incredible talent. So let's ride it out with him there. But that position definitely needs fixing because this season, we didn't make it to the Champions League final. That is the next goal that we are setting ourselves. We have reconquered Premier League football, but as you can see right there, PSG has kicked us out of the Champions League, so we need to go ahead and do better next time. Surely this summer transfer window is going to be a madness for this kid, João Neves from the likes of Benfica. I mean, I've been so impressed from minute one that he stepped onto the pitch for Benfica. I'm so interested to see what this kid can do in a league like the Premier League, for example. Like, he is everywhere on the pitch for Benfica, and I love that. I love that. He's basically just Kante, you know, just possibly with better offensive output. But saying that, Kante in his last years did have some decent offensive moments. But here comes João Neves into this team as the man to play alongside another Portuguese. I thought that would be a great option for us to have. This kid is 84 rated now, which shows that we have gone a couple of years into the future. 5'9". Hopefully his addition into the squad can take it to Champions League glory. But who do you guys think is going to be like the best wonder kid that will transfer in this summer transfer window? For me, he is definitely very high up on that list. At this point, I just sit here and wonder who can stop this Manchester City side. Real Madrid is not capable of doing so. Liverpool could though, because we sold them a bunch of our players, but they can't. 5-4. The comeback has gone through. And in the FA Cup, we are up against Arsenal. So we potentially could be up for the Premier League. I'm not too sure. We have the FA Cup and then a Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund, who have made it in there in real life as well. I am hoping that they can actually pull this off. It will be so much fun to see. I just want to see a different team go ahead and get it that no one expected it to win it. But yeah, I am a Bayern fan after all, and I shouldn't be rooting for them. But at the same time, I'm German, and I'm like, I kind of want the German team to win it so we can say like Bundesliga is better than the Premier League. But yeah, let's move on with that story. Let's see what's going on over here. Arsenal against Manchester City, FA Cup, the treble on the line, possibly. And they have Haaland. So that's going to be an issue. That is going to be a big issue. Hopefully, Guardiola has learned a lot in the training sessions. Off we go. Of course. Of course. They couldn't do it in real life, so they have to do it in the game. 2-1. Arsenal beats Manchester City. Let's move on and see how things are going here for us in the Premier League. Is there at least a double to be won this season? Yes! We have beaten Arsenal in the Premier League, 85 points. So back-to-back seasons, basically, of winning the Premier League title. Basically showing that we have brought this team back on the road of just going ahead and winning titles consistently. After paying off those 115 charges, 10 million for each one of them. Now, it's time to step up against Dortmund. Before we step up against Dortmund, first of all, let's check out their team. Who do they have in their squad? Klojek, Baturina, Adeyemi, Daniel Haaland, Hjulmand, Locatelli, Tierney, Inacio, free agent or regen, Dalot, Kobe. That is definitely a very, very good team. Like at this stage, a bunch of these guys are extremely high rated. So I am kind of scared of that squad, I must admit. That is a really well-balanced squad with lots of pace down the wings and an incredible passer in Baturina with Klojek, who also at this stage could be very good. All right then, Dortmund, I see you. But let's move on into our own stats. Let's showcase the love to these boys. David Raum has gone up to an 88, but Neves and Nunes are lower rated. These two guys are our midfielders from Portugal, who hopefully will be able to hold it down against Dortmund. Raum as well. Those are the top 3 lowest rated players. And then after that, it's just a madness, actually. The ratings in the attack, the stats on these players are really, really good. Oh, Mamardashvili also has 88, but the bench is not too shabby either. A bunch of talented players who are waiting for their opportunity when it comes around. Hopefully it works out for them. Here is Doku, 38 and 13. As a right winger, unreal. Then we have Phil Foden, 30 and 11. Alexander Isak, 26 and 12. I'm very proud of the fact that we were able to form a very nice attack after having let go of Haaland. Those players are the ones that we trusted, and it worked out. Nunes coming up with 7 goals himself. That's quite decent. Alvarez, I expected a little bit more, but something inside of me tells me that he's going to have the performance of his life in the Champions League final. And off we go into this Champions League final. Dortmund against Manchester City. I mean, I want them to win in real life, but definitely not in this game. Go on then. Ah, look at this. Look at this. This is incredible football. If I could have put that through his legs, imagine the scenes. Ooh, what a freaking ball that is for Karim Adeyemi. He plays a good pass into Locatelli. Locatelli back. Okay, Dortmund, I see you. We got to be very careful with their attacks. Their counter-attacking down the wings is going to be their biggest threat, in my opinion. And I need to put in tackles to save myself. What kind of move was that? Joao Neves picks that up for us. Down the right we go with Doku. He knows what to do. It's a 1v1 situation. Doku knows how to get past people here. He cuts in. Sees Nunes on his left foot. Not bad. I'm going to need you to put this on top of David Raum's head. I don't know what he's doing back here. He should have been the one taking the corner. Isak. Let's go, buddy. Smack it. Not bad at all. We will take that. Doku cuts back across. Whips the cross in. Looks for Phil Foden. Good stuff. Now, lately, I have been losing a lot of Champions League finals. I definitely don't want this one to be one of them. Please, lads, can we win again? I've been failing too often. Phil Foden. Down the left wing. Phil Foden. Can he make something happen here? What the hell just happened? I have no idea what I just did there. I was trying something completely different, but I think I pressed in the stick and Phil Foden just lobbed it. What? Let me see the replay of this, please, I beg. Here he goes. He's just like, okay, let me just lob this over your freaking head. Lads, that might be one of the most outrageous goals I have scored in FC 24. It surely has to be. You cannot do a move like that out of nowhere and it works out perfectly. I mean, please. That still makes no sense to me. How did he do that? guy, he needs to be fired. He's not a defender. He's just a fan watching. Alvarez sees the run down that left-hand side. We still have movements. That could be very, very effective here. It's David Raum, the left back. He smacks it in. When I bought him, I knew he can do the attacking things I need. Nice way of bottling the goal celebration by having zero English. Lads, we did it. David Raum running through down the left. Phil Foden still stuck in defense. There he goes. This is what he can do. He is definitely capable of stuff like this, and that's why I signed him. There's no way you're winning that, pal. Let's go. Alvarez into Isak straight away. Alexander Isak, he wants a piece of this as well. He's sprinting away from people. Alvarez is going to get his assist, isn't he? Yes, he is. 3-0. That is my Champions League trophy. 115 charges paid off with 1.15 billion, and then creating a team that can still compete at the top. That's what we have done with Manchester City. Look, I'll be honest, I don't know what's going to happen with Manchester City and those charges. Will it ever go through? Will the UK government intervene? Is there going to be some meddling done so that they don't actually get relegated and lose all their titles? We don't know. We are yet to see. But for now, we have created an incredible team with some of the originals still about and some new lads walking through the door and getting things done. Tomori as the captain, lifting the trophy for Manchester City. This was a joy to record. Despite being a Liverpool fan, I really enjoyed myself, and I hope you guys had a great day. Take care and peace.